Welcome back to another video. It is Wednesday afternoon. In the previous couple of videos, I've mentioned that I've not been feeling 100%. And today I feel even worse. Definitely coming down with something. I've noticed today I woke up and I've got spots everywhere, which I never get spots unless I'm either really run down or getting ill. And my throat has not been feeling great today, but all is fine. I've just got a light session today. I've got light bench, I've got pause deadlifts, are pretty light, and then I've just got some lower body accessories that are more like rehabby type stuff. So it will all be fine. Nutrition today has been great, it's been fine, no dramas there. It is now 4 or nearly 4, so I'm gonna go out and train fairly soon. I have just got off a call with a client. I've got some more work I want to get done later on as well. So just going to go out and train soon and kind of get that done and then come back and do some more work after. But I did say that this video was going to be a Q&A. I put a Q&A box up on Instagram and I've had a few really good questions sent in. I'm not going to answer all of them, but I thought it'd be fun to just answer some. Now, first question that I wanted to answer was, do you have any advice for someone that struggles with their confidence? So, as a young woman, I was not overly confident, but I will say when I was 18, I went straight into full-time work as a personal trainer, and nothing makes you have to be more confident than teaching exercise classes and training strangers. So I definitely got a confidence boost from just going straight into full-time work as a teenager rather than going to university or anything like that. But what I will say is, and actually one of my friends posted something about this recently, and it's basically one of the best ways to feel confident in yourself and not let other people's comments bother you is to just become someone that you're genuinely proud of being, which sounds like probably a bit wishy-washy, but I know that I'm like a good person. I know that I have the best interests of the people around me at heart. I know that I work really hard. I know that, I think I'm funny. I know that I have the traits of someone that I would like. And so if someone ever didn't like me now, or if someone ever didn't, if someone ever had an issue with me, I know that it's not something that I am particularly worried over, if that makes sense. Like, I used to hate if someone disliked me. I used to really struggle to understand how anyone could not like me because I'm just so nice to everyone. And I was such a people pleaser back then. And I'm definitely still like, I have people pleasing traits, but I don't people please to the extent of like worrying myself, burning myself out, anything like that. But yeah, the best advice I can really give is to just make sure that you're behaving in ways that you respect and that you, become someone that you would respect, become someone that you are proud of, and then you will automatically feel more confident. I also think as well, just pretending to be confident is one of the best things people can do. When I was younger, I just became super sarcastic as a teenager, and all of these things I was insecure about, I used to just make sarcastic jokes about, and I used to joke about them before anyone else could without even really realizing what I was doing. And then all of a sudden I was just a really confident person. So definitely some other advice there, like fake it till you make it is actually a thing. So that's the first question. Next question that I was asked was, what is my go-to pre-workout meal? So currently my pre-workout is cereal. I've been having that for most sessions recently, just a little carb boost before training. Frosties are currently my go-to. Cocoa Pops are another good option. But what I will stress is I always have an actual meal 2 to 3 hours before training that has a lot of carbs, decent amount of protein, some fat but not loads, and a bit of fiber in there, because that will then keep me, well, it will fuel me for one, but it will keep me reasonably full. And then this is just like a carb top up before I then train in about 40 minutes or so. So current go-to nice carby snack is Frosties. Bananas work great, cereal bars work great, things like that, very good. Even fruit juice if you don't want to actually eat anything, lots of options. Okay, so very quick question and answer before I go and do my session. What is my favorite cuisine? This one, I have to say, if I could only eat one type of food again for the rest of my life, it would probably be Mexican. I love Italian food, I love Indian food, I love most foods, but I feel like Mexican is probably the one that has enough variety that I wouldn't get bored.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. Way up, I might never come down, cause the coast racking up the flight miles. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle. Wait a minute, Work hard for the car, so that's why it's all tinted. Wait a minute. Had a real late night, woke up with my head spinning out Nashville.
Okay, so it's actually the next day. I felt exhausted during and after training yesterday, so I decided to just stop filming the Q&A and just kind of get everything done that I needed to do and just have an early night. Still feeling pretty lethargic, not great today, but surviving, doing what I need to do. Currently about to go to a food shop, which is my least favourite job of the week. But I want to answer some more questions, so we'll continue the Q&A into today. Someone asked me what made me decide to start the podcast. Now, to be honest, I felt like there was a bit of a gap in the market because there are so many lifting podcasts out there, but there were not many female-led. I can only think of one other female-led lifting podcast, and at the point of me starting mine, they weren't uploading regularly. I still don't think they particularly are. It's not one that I've ever massively gotten into, to be honest. But also, there was the market of there weren't really any regularly uploading podcasts. Like, I am someone that needs a schedule and consistency, and I thrive on having a routine. And King of the Lift is obviously like the biggest powerlifting podcast out there, and even they weren't uploading weekly. There was no, like, it didn't appear like there was an actual schedule. I think they're more consistent in terms of like regular uploads now, but there was never like a consistent schedule. I will say at the point of releasing mine, I actually wasn't aware of the Scottish Guys Barbells and BS podcast. They started a few months before me. And to be fair to them, they do upload every week. It's very rare that they miss a week. So I actually wasn't aware of them before I started mine. I would say they are probably the only other one I can think of that is genuinely consistent. Again, having said that, since starting mine, a lot more seem to be posting consistently, which is great because I like listening to them. I've learned so much from podcasts. And I just enjoy listening to people talk about powerlifting. Obviously, that's why I do it. But yeah, it was kind of like there was a gap in the market for it. And I thought, you know what? I like talking to people. It's a good way for me to network, meet new people in the space, build better relationships with people in the space. And like, I'm so glad I did it because it's brought me so much. Yeah, that's kind of why I started it. Basically, I just thought there was a gap in the market that I could be quite good at filling. And I definitely feel like I've done a good job with that. And I'm proud of how it's gone. I did take a little bit of a break, probably about a year into starting it. It's been 2 years now, or it's coming up to 2 years. But this year, 2026, I've not missed a single week. And I'm very proud of that. And I feel like I've got a really good routine with it as well. Someone also asked me, there was another question about the podcast. How are you finding the podcast? Did it grow during Worlds with the daily recaps? Now, yes. So I'm loving the podcast. I think recently, especially, I've been receiving so much positive feedback about the podcast. And obviously that just makes it feel even more worthwhile. A lot of people have been basically saying that, like, I'm a really good interviewer. I'm really good at building rapport with the people that I get on, which is like huge compliment, right? Like, I never ask people to say these things, and like, I'm so thankful to anyone that's said anything positive. Did it grow during Worlds? Yes. So the podcast took off during Worlds. Like, I already had a decent, consistent number of downloads every single week. Like, it was getting like a good number that I was very proud of and very happy with. But during Worlds, it definitely grew. I had a lot of high-level athletes, coaches sharing it, talking about it. Other lifters kind of sharing it around, giving me loads of props for it. And it was definitely worthwhile doing it. It was hard. Like, it was so difficult. And I think I mentioned in the videos I filmed during that week with my training, like, I had no free time during that week of Worlds, but I absolutely am proud of it. It also just happened to coincide with when I also got ads on the podcast too, which was like a huge milestone that I was hoping to work towards this year. And it just happened to land on the week of Worlds. I think it was on like the Tuesday, like during Worlds, like day 4, day 5, that I also managed to get the podcast approved for ads. So for that to all coincide at the same time was just like a huge milestone for me. And yeah, I'm really loving it. I really, really love it. It's probably my favorite thing that I do. It's hard work. Just trying to think of new guests, because obviously there's so many podcasts out there right now, and I don't want to just get the same people on. That's why I've actually been getting less athletes on and having more coaches on recently, because I think sometimes hearing from the coach perspective is super interesting. It's a different take to what the athletes are going to say, but I still try and get a good mix. And then sometimes I'll just do episodes with friends in the space where it's a bit more of a casual chat back and forth. And yeah, I love it. It's been amazing, and it's definitely grown since Worlds, which obviously I'm super thankful for everyone that listens. I'm going to go in and do the food shop, and then I'll come back and answer another one. So just made it home. Next question is, if you had to get rid of one lift from powerlifting, what would it be? I don't think it's a surprise that I'm probably going to say, like, from athlete perspective, I would get rid of deadlifting because my subtotal is competitive. My subtotal I'm proud of. My deadlift, not so much. From a reffing perspective, though, and a viewership perspective, I'd probably have to say bench, even though bench is my best lift, because elbow depth, stupid rule. The upper body thrust rule, stupid rule. I've ranted about both of those so much already this year. But athlete perspective, it would be deadlifts. Okay, so just going to answer the last couple of questions. I've also realised if the audio sounds messed up or if I'm not including these clips, Zuko, when I was training yesterday, stole my microphone from the bench that it was sat on and ran around the garden with it. So it could be damaged, which means either none of this is going to be in the video or my audio sounds terrible. But yeah, I've got a couple more questions, more to do with the coaching side of things I wanted to answer. So first one being, do you have any advice for people trying to grow their coaching, feeling stuck? So I think this is really common. Like, people forget. I think you get some coaches that do just get clients really quickly. And I think the easiest example here would be people that start in uni, people that coach members of their uni club and kind of get a decent number of clients from the get-go. And then obviously they just kind of expand from there. That's a really common way for people to look like they've basically become successful coaches really quickly overnight. But I think for the majority of people, you have to just remember that coaching is a self-employed business. If you were in any other industry, you would understand and accept that it's going to take years to establish yourself full-time, earning a good wage, living a comfortable life, being self-employed. Like, I come from a self-employed family. So my dad, he was part employed, part self-employed, I believe, when I was younger, or like he got jobs through a company type thing as well as being self-employed. But I watched him grow his self-employed business from a really young age. And my mum is also, like, she's also been self-employed as a hairdresser and things. So I've seen how much work it takes to build a business, to be self-employed and live a comfortable lifestyle. And it takes time. And I think people very quickly give up before they've given themselves time within the coaching space. My true advice would be, especially with social media now, because I think such a big thing with coaching and with any kind of business is a social media presence, because it helps people find you. Make sure that you are building some kind of presence online. Show people your personality online. Yes, showing that you know what you're talking about is also important. Sharing general knowledge and tips and advice, infographics, that type of thing can be great. But if you're not also showing your personality, people aren't going to look at you and go, I want to work with that person, right? You need to do all of this in a way that's also authentic for yourself, and that will bring you more business. So building an online presence, building an online kind of person, like showing your personality online, I think is a really good bit of advice. I also honestly think having another job at the same time is really, really important, because it takes the pressure off of building it quickly. Because if you build your business super quickly, you're not going to be able to sustain it. You see a lot of coaches that do get business really quickly end up having this revolving door of clients. They don't have good client retention because they're trying to build relationships with people so quickly and take on more people than they can handle at a time. And it ends up reflecting in their service. Like, I've always worked another job on the side of coaching because it's allowed me to not have to stress about coaching covering the bills and just allow me to grow it authentically and get to a point where coaching is my main source of income. And it's just happened without having to put pressure on it. And if I lost clients along the way, which of course is going to happen, then that's not going to be a massive stress of, oh my God, I can't afford my bills this month. Like, it takes the pressure off, which then allows you to deliver a better service. And it also allows you to just build a better relationship because you're not taking on too many people at once. So I hope that kind of makes sense. So yeah, I would definitely say, don't be afraid to do something else on the side, even if it's just a part-time job, doing whatever. It can be really beneficial to just have something else on the side to allow you to still put all of your time and focus into coaching, but without the added pressure. Like, obviously you don't want to be working 2 full-time jobs, right? That's not going to be sustainable. And again, the level of service you're offering is going to drop. Do it in a way that allows you to, coaching be your main focus and your main driver, but something else is like a steady, like stable income to cover bills, or at least some of your bills, can be really beneficial, especially for people starting out. Like, I remember really early on in my career when I was looking more like the general personal training side of things, and I was looking to potentially move from the gym that I worked at that had a set salary to I think it might have been a gym group or something similar. It was like a gym group, pure gym type thing, where you essentially have to build your client base within the gym. And they literally said to me in the interview, make sure you keep a part-time job at the same time, at least for the first few months, maybe year, so that you have that stable income and it takes the pressure off. And I think that's a really important thing that I don't think a lot of people consider an option, especially if someone is usually leaving university, having built up a decent client base, but obviously a lot of the time university coaches tend to charge less, so the students kind of afford it a little bit more, so they're not earning a livable wage, and then they leave university and they go into full-time work, even though coaching is what they want to do, and then they really struggle to balance both. We're allowed to apply for part-time jobs, guys. You don't have to be a parent to apply for a part-time job. So having something part-time alongside coaching, I think, can be really beneficial for people. But more than that, just accepting that building any business, building any sustainable self-employed venture takes time, and make sure that within that you are really focusing on the people. Like, if you have good client retention, you're going to have a more stable income, you're going to have better kind of word of mouth recommendations and that sort of thing. Like, one thing I'm incredibly proud of is my client retention. I don't actually know the statistics of it, which I'm annoyed with myself for, but I know that I have one of the best client retentions, I would comfortably say, of the coaches here in the UK as a minimum, right? And I think that's a really important thing, is just making sure that you're not worrying so much about getting in more and more people, which is obviously part of it as well, because it is a business at the end of the day, but that you're actually fully taking care of the people that you currently have as well. So I think that's really important. Final question before we wrap things up is, do you coach people that don't powerlift? So I advertise my coaching as powerlifting and sports nutrition coaching. So majority of my business naturally will be powerlifters. But having said that, I do coach people that would not class themselves as powerlifters. Most of my client base naturally is powerlifters, but I coach people that are literally of all levels, like just walked into the gym, years in the sport, international level. Like, there's such a variety there. But I never put pressure on my clients to specifically be powerlifters or compete in powerlifting, or I work with people that maybe joined me with an interest in powerlifting and then actually they've gone, I don't think I want to compete, or they've tried competing and they maybe just didn't love it that much, or their shift in what they want to achieve has changed. So we kind of take a step back from calling ourselves powerlifters and look more at like a general fitness lifestyle type of coaching. And that's where I started. I started as a general personal trainer, right? I mean, yes, powerlifting quickly became my niche, but I do also just coach kind of strength training as a whole. It doesn't necessarily have to be aiming for the powerlifts. And if people work with me, do decide that they want to do that, or at least like focus more on that sort of thing, work on their cardiovascular fitness outside of powerlifting at the same time, because you can do both. I put a post up on Instagram about that the other day that did weirdly well. I do, long story short, I do coach some people. Obviously, majority of people I coach are powerlifters, but I do coach people that aren't powerlifters, that wouldn't class themselves as powerlifters. They still strength train and we still look at that. I'm open to both, but like I say, I mostly advertise for powerlifting because that is obviously my kind of niche area type thing. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you very much. If you've made it to the end, it feels a bit weird doing a Q&A. I don't think I've done a YouTube Q&A in a very long time. Obviously, if there's any questions that you guys do have and you want me to answer in future videos, let me know, leave them in the comments, and I'll be sure to address them in future videos. But I'm going to wrap this one up here. I'm going to go and do my tempo bench session. Yesterday's training session just did not feel great. Deadlift felt okay, the one in this video, but bench felt pretty horrible. But I am actually going to move my usually Friday bench to today. Because I'm going to do SBD on Saturday, which I mentioned in a previous video that I was going to move my days around and trial that. So I will be benching again today. It's only about half an hour session though, so I'm going to go get that done because I'm still really not feeling great. Keep getting like really hot, really cold flushes, so that's not very fun. And I'm also starving today. My appetite is through the roof today and I am struggling. But it's fine, I've got one meal left to have after I've trained, so that's also why I want to train now and get that done. But yes, thank you very much. If you made it to the end of the video, I really appreciate it. Please be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in a few days for the next one.
I need sunglasses, I need Advil. I like fake boobs and my cash real. I like first place, you're in last deal. Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east.